Hey guys, happy Tuesday. I know, you're like, wait, she doesn't do videos on Tuesdays. FYI for everyone who's new, I do videos on Monday, update for the week before. Wednesdays, a topic. Thursdays, my way in and a little bit of chit chat. And Fridays, I usually do a recipe or something else if something else happens. Those are my days I do, only because at one point I was doing 6 days a week and I was dying because I have a teaching job that I teach online for kids in China. Sorry, the air is very dry in my house today, and I am just dying. Anyhow, so I am a mom of two. My daughter's 25, my son is 24. I have been married to my husband for 5 years. We met 8 years ago. And let's see. I'm trying to just synopsis my life here. So I'm going to try to be really careful about how I use my words because there's a lot of words that I need to use to describe my life that YouTube doesn't like, and they will often just block my videos if I slip and say one. And I understand the rules, and I get they're there for a reason, and I fully understand that. My channel is permanently marked as not meant for children, but that doesn't mean children can't find it. So, growing up, I had a lot of issues with bullying and stuff like that. I wasn't overweight. I was actually very skinny, but I never quite fit in because I had a very strange living environment. I grew up with my grandparents as my parents and no contact with my actual parents, which is a long story that I'm not going to put out all over the internet because then I'm going to hear from my parents, actual parents, and I don't want to. So, just putting it out there like that. I don't want them to say I've misstated anything or I misunderstood anything because obviously any story has multiple sides and most of mine has 3 to 5 sides. So none of them correlate. Needless to say, so I had a lot of bullying growing up. I always wanted to fit in. I always felt like I wasn't good enough. I always had self-esteem issues, mostly because of the fact that I wasn't living with my parents. There was a lot of issues for me with that. My sophomore year of college, a friend stopped by that was supposed to be going to a party and asked if he could hang out till his friends showed up, and that was fine. I was just doing homework. One thing led to another. There was sharp objects involved and me saying no and him saying yes. If you get what I'm saying, that was a pretty traumatic event for me. And after that, I started dating someone who I ended up marrying, and that person ended up being super abusive. And the person that I married after him was super cheaty. So I've had a lot happen, and a lot of that made me not care about myself. But also in the middle of all that, due to allergic reactions, my first ex was military, and the military doctors decided, oh, we know how to solve this allergic reaction issue. We'll just keep you on prednisone for 18 months. So I went from like a size 14, 16 to like a size 26, 28. And I basically stayed there for the next 20 years. Not happy about that. I also, aside from the prednisone issue, I have nerve damage to my back from a bad epidural. So sometimes I can wake up and I can't feel my legs really well. And that's just been always. I was in a car accident when I was 18, and my shoulder blade is way up. My collarbone is way up here. Like my other one is down here, and this one is way up here. My shoulder blade is actually out of place by like a quarter of an inch, but it's just enough so they can touch my back, my spine, and it can cause all kinds of muscle issues. So my left arm is sometimes not sensitive. Like I can't feel it. Like I drop stuff in my left hand sometimes. I've always done that since my accident. Aside from that, I also have PCOS, and I also have CPSD. So I am a bag of mess, always have been, but I have learned to love my mess in the last 10 months differently than I ever have before, which is a good thing. When I lived in Colorado was the first time I started to realize I really need to try to work on my weight. Because before that, I really didn't even think about it. And so that was after 2008, 2011. And I had a really good doctor, but he couldn't figure out what was wrong and why I wasn't losing weight, because I was eating very specific foods. I was writing down everything that went into my mouth and how much of it I ate. I was weighing everything. I wasn't eating out junk food. I was doing really good with my food. I had a gym membership. I was going 5 days a week, and he just couldn't figure it out. I mean, I had to like have a tube down my throat with a camera. Like, none of it was fun. They were looking for cancer. They were looking for, I think it's called gastroparesis, where like your stomach muscles don't work right. They were looking for everything, and nothing was working. And they just couldn't figure out. They were getting zero. Nope, it's not this. We were ruling stuff out, but nothing was ruled in. And at that point, when instead of saying, is there any other kind of doctor that might, like an endocrine, I never thought to ask about an endocrinologist. I never thought about to ask like about different things. Never thought to ask for a health coach. Like, didn't know those existed. They probably didn't then. I don't know. But yeah, so I just kind of thought, okay, I'm a medical mystery. Wonderful. Story of my life. Fall through cracks. Nobody can figure me out. It's whatever. And I gave up. And I just didn't bother trying to do anything. I just tried to not gain weight. And then last year, my daughter was going to move into China to teach. And I was originally going to go with her. You know, my husband said, we could sell the house here. I could rent an apartment. I can come see you guys in China a couple times a year. You can fly here a few times a year. Like, we had it all worked out because his work schedule at the time, he was working 12-hour shifts. We were barely seeing each other anyway because he was working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day. And so our thought was this would be a great opportunity to save money. And her being in China alone was kind of nerve-wracking. And so I went to the doctor to go get all my stuff done that I needed for my physical and stuff, just to be able to go get a visa for China. And when I stepped on the scale and I was 427 pounds, my heart broke because I knew I had to lose weight if I wanted to go with her, and there wasn't time because she was leaving in a few weeks. And I was just beside myself that she was going to go by herself. At the same time, my son announced that his father, the abusive one, had found him a job in Colorado, and he was going to go to Colorado. So his dad drove all the way from Colorado to come pick him up, and he left in early September. And then a couple weeks later, my daughter left, and for the first time in 20 plus years, I was by myself. I mean, my husband was here, but I didn't have kids to talk to, or just, I didn't feel like a mom anymore. And then I didn't know who I was anymore because I've been a mom since I was 19. And thanks to that whole situation that happened in my dorm room. And it was just a lot. And I had a major mental crisis. And I went to severe depression. I did not leave my house for 3 months. The first time I left the house was the day after Thanksgiving. My husband convinced me to let him buy a scooter, because at that point I had gotten to a place where, and it started before then, like it was about 1.5 years progression to 2 years, where my back pain would get so bad from my nerves, and I would be out of breath, and I would just, it was horrible just trying to shop or go anywhere or do anything. And I was embarrassed going into restaurants, and I was so in a bad place. But he finally convinced me to let him get me a scooter so I get out of the house more, because he knew I was depressed and he didn't know what to do to help me. I didn't know what to do to help me. I went back to my counselor, started going back to counseling. I started using my scooter so I get out of the house more. I just started doing things I needed to do to take care of myself. And then I heard about this challenge, DDP, Positively Unstoppable Challenge. And I thought, well, I won't win, but I'm going to try to do it. And that way, at least it's a start. I can start maybe trying to lose weight. And I had to buy a special scale that would weigh me because I was over 400 pounds. And my doctor's office said I couldn't video my weigh-ins. And so I had to buy a scale. And so I did. And the first time I stepped on the scale, I was 458 pounds. I was 0% impressed with that. That I had gained over 30 pounds. Over 30 pounds in a few months. I didn't know where to start. I had to do a lot of research. I watched what DDP had for his meal plan, but for me, there was so much of that food I couldn't eat. Because I had food allergies, or so I thought. And I had avoided a lot of those foods because I would have reactions to them. I have since then learned that it was GMO sensitivities, which, yes, I know there's people out there who say it's not true, but my allergy doctor says it is, and I say it is. My husband can tell you, if you give me a bowl of food and say, oh, this is non-GMO, and it's not, and like you're lying to me, within seconds, we both know you were lying to me. And I'm actually sensitive to GMOs. Because I start coughing, I start having wheezing, I am just beside myself. And it is only with GMO foods. I can eat corn as long as it's non-GMO. I can eat anything as long as it's non-GMO. The second I eat something GMO, I am hacking. And I am just, it's just very uncomfortable. Like my allergy doctor said, is just because I haven't stopped breathing doesn't mean I won't. So I am very cautious on my food right now. And for the rest of my life. I shouldn't say right now. So I kind of use DDP's diet options as a starting point. And I pulled out dairy. I pulled out red meat. I pulled out pork. I left chicken and turkey in the mix because I did need some sort of meat. I can't do all plant-based. I just can't do it. I like bacon. I do have bacon. That's the only pork I have, but I usually have turkey bacon, honestly. I prefer it for the most part. The only thing I have left in my diet that's considered dairy is eggs, and that's because we have chickens. So we feed them non-GMO food, and I eat the eggs because we keep our chickens like they're our pets. Like, the suckers are spoiled. So I don't have any quandaries with how the chickens are being handled. I know how they're being handled. They're chasing me around the yard and being obnoxious, and that's my chickens. So that's just kind of the path I've been on, and I weighed in at 458 on January 29th, and when I weighed in last week, I was 330 something. I'll have to look it up. I usually have it up here, but for some reason, I didn't update that. And for those of you who are new, every 50 pounds, I donate my total weight loss of food somewhere. The first time the post office was doing a food drive, so we just let them pick up the food, and the postman double checked with us to make sure we actually meant to put out that much food. I think I put out 75 pounds at that point because it was my first time. It was my new idea, so we just went for what I was at. And then when I hit the 100 pounds, we donated it to a community, like a community food pantry thing, where they built like a blessing box, and not our church, not even our community, but we saw it and we thought, let's donate it there, and that's what we did. And this next round, as long as I hit it before March, which, barring me just absolutely losing my mind and or having something happen where I can't work out for a while, we'll be going to an emergency family shelter that also provides emergency housing and apartment assistance in Pensacola, Florida. So that is where we've chosen for the next one. And then once we get to Utah, we'll have to find a place for the 200-pound mark. And then probably 250 will be a number that I'll hit. But then after that, I'm going to be watching for where I feel healthy, not a specific weight. I'm not aiming for, because I'm 5'2", I should weigh X. No, I'm not doing that. I am doing when I am healthy and I feel healthy, that's where I'll stop. And I will not go below the number they tell me I should be, for sure. But let's be honest, I've had 2 children, I'm a grown adult woman, and I am not small chested or small bootied. So that number they give will not ever apply to me. So that is a little bit about me. And I've already recorded this like 4 or 5 times and deleted it. So this one is going to be the one I put up because I'm just not going to keep recording this. I actually have a meeting in a little bit. And yeah, so my path with DDP Yoga throughout the time, I have lost 120 pounds now, and I found that I had a lot of people reaching out to me and asking, oh my gosh, how did you do this? How did you do that? What do you think about this? What do you think about that? And so after a while, I was like, man, I wish I'd get paid for this. And a friend of mine was like, become a health coach. And I was like, what's that? So I started in June with health coaching classes, and that was 6 months into, well, 5 months into my journey. And I'd lost about 70 pounds at that point. So I, was super excited to start my health coaching classes, and I'm just finishing them up now. I'm in the last stages. And so I'm launching my health coaching business in January, which I'm excited about. Excuse me, I'm so sorry. And so that's basically what I've been doing. And if you guys ever have a question about anything, if there's a topic you want me to talk about, because there's a lot of stuff that I don't think to talk about. There's just stuff that I do in my life. Comment below any video I post and be like, hey, could you talk more about this topic? Or, oh, I don't see any videos about this topic. I am happy, more than happy, to talk about a topic that might help someone else. Like, I started this channel really as just a way to log my own progress, and then realized that it'd be a great resource for me to be able to help other people do what I'm doing, to encourage them and support them and answer any questions people have. I know really soon, or what I'm probably doing tomorrow, is I'm going to be talking about my skin right now. Yeah, it's great. Weight loss is wonderful. It's beautiful. It's so easy, right? Yeah, no. I don't know. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow, but if I'm wearing the same shirt, I'm probably going to record it today, this afternoon, but, we'll just pretend like it's not. Sorry, I've got a dry throat right now, so I'm going to wrap this baby up. Giveaway. So when I did my hip box unboxing, I got this little bag right here, and it has a whole set of resistance bands. When I first started doing DDP yoga in the chair workouts, once I really didn't understand how to do the create my own resistance thing. So what I did was I used resistance bands so I could learn how my muscles should feel when they're doing the resistance. And sometimes I still use them if I'm having a day where my back is bothering me and I do have to go back to a chair force workout. I do still use the resistance bands because I can't stand, but that doesn't change my ability to use my legs and my arms, if that makes sense. So I will still sometimes use the resistance bands. So they're very helpful. I also will use them sometimes when watching TV, just for like arm lifts, like for here. I'll sit there and I'll just kind of like do a pull-up. Keep one part of my foot and just lift it and just kind of do that when I'm watching TV. I try not to sit sedentary unless I absolutely have to. It's like if I'm doing my schoolwork, I obviously can't be using a resistance band because I'm taking notes and watching a video. But yeah, so this is what I'm giving away. I will do the drawing on Thanksgiving. The way you can win this is comment below, make sure you're a subscriber, and like this video. That's all you gotta do. Those three things. Like, comment, make sure you're subscribed. Other than that, you are good to go and you are good for an entry. I will do an automatic draw on Thanksgiving Day after I weigh in. Thank goodness I'm weighing in before I eat the turkey. That's super important. But anyhow, yeah, so that's me. Welcome to my page if you're new. If you've been here a while, I just want to say I am so grateful for you guys. Some of you guys have been with me since day like 2. So you have no idea how much it means to me to have you guys here, and sharing my journey with you, and you guys sharing your journeys with me. I have so many of you that I've spoken with personally, that we've talked and we've, just kind of commiserated on our journeys and how hard it is. And I feel like y'all are my family. So definitely, make sure if you have any questions on a video, you comment them. I'm definitely not a mind reader, not a skill I was born with, but I am more than happy to answer any questions. I'd like to start doing a monthly Q&A. I'd also like to start doing some lives, since I can do them off of my laptop itself, and we can chat some. So if there's a day that would be great for you for me to go live, whether it be daytime, nighttime, either just post it below, and if I see some trends, I'll try to go do lives during those times. I will see you guys later. Thank you for watching. Sorry this was long, but again, like I said, I talk a lot. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Bye.